The Eastern Canadian Basketball League has finally tipped off, and the Truro Tide played their first home game last night. Saltwire's Brendyn Creamer was there. Brendyn, your first overall impressions of the game, the venue, the crowd, all of it.
It was excellent, Scott. I mean, it was really stormy last night. I wasn't really knowing what to expect until I got there and saw this amazing crowd. The energy from the players was just, you could tell that they really wanted to be there. And after so long of having the idea of this league in their heads, they finally got to get onto the court and play. It was excellent.
I know that the president of the league, Tim Kendrick, was there. No stranger to basketball players or fans in this region. You said we were talking earlier off camera that Tim addressed the crowd. Can you just summarize kind of the thoughts that he put out there and what he was saying to the crowd?
Absolutely. From what Tim was saying, it sounds like he really wants to keep this league as local as possible. He was kind of encouraging some of the high school basketball players that were there that, one day they might have a shot at making it to the ECBL, which is fantastic, of course.
And you mentioned the high school players maybe playing for the Truro Tide or in the league one day. The team, for now, playing out of the Cobequid Educational Center Gymnasium. What was the venue like, and what was it like watching the game there?
You might be a little skeptical because, it is a high school gymnasium, but thankfully the CEC got a pretty great court there. It seated, it must have been hundreds of people. And I mean, it didn't affect the game whatsoever. It was a pretty great venue overall, considering.
And what about the gameplay itself, the level of play? A lot of these players just got together in the last week or 10 days, so not a lot of practice time, no real exhibition schedule to speak of. What was the level of play like?
It was certainly up there. The first quarter in particular, it was really back and forth. I think they came out, Truro Tide came out 30-27 over the Vipers in that quarter. But as the game went on, Truro just swept the Vipers as it continued. But even despite that, one thing that really struck me in particular was just the sportsmanship, not only between the teams, but between the team members, but between the teams themselves. There were times where I saw players from the Truro Tide helping Vipers, off the floor after they fell down. And at the end, everybody was hugging each other. It was just great to see,
And you were there in the stands watching. What was the vibe you were getting from the other fans around you that were at the gym?
They were so pumped. They were ecstatic, especially as the game went on and Truro overtook the Vipers. The energy just kept escalating, and it was fantastic. Even as somebody who, admittedly isn't much of a sports fan, I was engrossed in it.
What can something like this mean to the community of Truro, not just from a sports level, but just from a community level?
Well, I think Truro is a really sports-centric community to begin with. I mean, just look at the Bearcats and, the numbers they get. I think a league like this will just bring more fans out and bring the community closer together. It's going to be great to see as the league goes on, for sure.
So would it be fair to say that Saltwire's Brendyn Creamer is now a Truro Tide fan?
Oh, consider me one. Absolutely.
Brendyn, thanks for taking the time to do this and filling us in. Great news and wonderful to see Truro on the court and the Eastern Canadian Basketball League finally tipping off. Thanks for your time.
No problem. Thanks, Scott.
In Halifax, I'm Scott Squires for the Atlantic Sports Wire.